Hello class 12 students. Welcome back once again to your biology class. In our last class we have completed the chapter of biotechnology principles and processes. So let us start today a new lesson, that is biotechnology and its application. So let us start today's class.
Biotechnology has varied applications. In all the fields in technological science, biotechnology has played a vital role. It has varied applications like in the field of therapeutics, diagnostics, genetically modified crops for agriculture, processed food, in the field of bioremediation, in the field of waste treatment, energy production, and so on. There are basically three critical research areas of biology. First, providing the best catalyst as improved organism, usually a microbe or pure enzyme. Number two, creating optimal conditions for engineering for a catalyst to act. And third is the downstream processing technologies to purify the protein or organic compound. These are the three critical research areas of biology. Now, biotechnological applications in agriculture. The food production has manifold increased day by day. Food production, it can be increased how? By applying biotechnology. How biotechnology can be used? By agrochemical based culture, by organic agriculture, and by genetically engineered crop based agriculture. Okay, so by using these three methods, food production can be increased. Okay, and the green revolution, I think you have heard about the green revolution. It succeeded in increasing the food supply. Why? Because use of improved crop varieties during that time, use of agrochemicals, means the fertilizers and the pesticides have been used during the green revolution, and use of better management practices. These are the three criteria due to which the green revolution came to grand success and the food supply increased, the production of the food crops increased. Agrochemicals, these are expensive for the farmers in developing countries, and they also have harmful effects on environment. So genetically modified crops were developed. Now, these genetically modified organisms, GMO in short we say, what are these? These are the plants, bacteria, fungi and animals whose genes have been altered by means of manipulation. Okay, and genetical modification of the crops have resulted in increased tolerance against abiotic stress like cold, drought, salt, heat, etc. Reduced reliance on chemical pesticides, that is, pest resistant crops have been invented or discovered. Reduced post harvest losses, after harvest losses used to take place. So, that has been reduced due to genetic modification of the crops. And increased efficiency of the minerals which is used by the plants, which prevented early exhaustion of fertility of the soil. Enhanced nutritional value of food has been increased, like vitamin A enriched rice, which we say as the golden rice. Creation of tailor-made plants to supply alternate resources like starches, fuels and pharmaceuticals to industries. So have these are the results, basically we can say, after the invention of the genetic modification of the crops. So pest resistant plants, they act as biopesticide. Insecticide need not be used in this type of pest resistant plant. You can give some examples like BT cotton, BT corn, rice, tomato, potato, soybean, etc. Okay, these are the pest resistant plants. Now BT cotton, this is one example of pest resistant plant. Some strains of Bacillus thuringiensis, they produce protein which kill some insects like Lepidopterans. Lepidopterans means the tobacco budworm, armyworm, and different types of Coleopterans also like beetles, and dipterans also like flies, mosquitoes, etc. So these Bacillus thuringiensis, they form the protein crystal which contain a toxic insecticidal protein and are initially inactive protoxins. But after ingestion by the insect, their inactive toxin becomes active due to the alkaline pH of the gut, which solubilizes the crystals. And the activated toxin, it binds to the surface of the midgut epithelial cells and create pores which cause the swelling of the cells and lysis further, which will lead to the death of the insect. Okay. And specific Bt toxin genes obtained from Bacillus thuringiensis are used in several crop plants like cotton. And the toxin is coded by a gene which we say as the Cry genes, CRY. Cry genes, which are various types like protein encoded by the genes Cry1AC, Cry2AB, they control the cotton bollworms, and that of Cry1AB, it control the corn borer. So Bt tobacco, in short we say, this was first cultured to kill the hornworms. Okay, Manduca sexta. So this was Bt cotton. Bt tobacco was first cultured to kill the hornworms. And pest resistant plant, I told in short, a nematode. It infects the roots of the tobacco plant, which reduce the production of tobacco. And it can be prevented by using the RNA interference. RNA, small I we write in short. By this process, which is checked by silencing of specific mRNA due to the complementary dsRNA. Okay, and this dsRNA, it binds and prevents the translation of the mRNA, which is known as silencing. By using agrobacterium vectors, nematode-specific genes were introduced into the host plant, which produce both sense and antisense RNA in the host cells. And these two RNAs are complementary to each other and they form a double-stranded RNA, we say as dsRNA. And it initiates the RNA interference and so silence the specific mRNA of the nematode. And this parasite, it cannot survive in the transgenic host. So it protects the plant from pest. Okay. Now biotechnological applications in medicine. The recombinant DNA technology, it was used for the production of therapeutic drugs which are safe and effective. It avoids unwanted immunological response which is commonly observed with similar products which is isolated from non-human source. And about 30 recombinant therapeutics have been approved for human use in the world, including India. Now, this application in medicine, it helps the mass production of safe and more effective therapeutic drugs. And genetically engineered insulin is one of them. Now, insulin, it contains two short polypeptide chain, chain A and chain B, which is linked by disulfide bridges. In mammals, insulin is synthesized as a prohormone. Prohormone means which needs to be processed to become mature and functional hormone. And it contains an extra stage, which is known as C-peptide. This C-peptide is absent in mature insulin and is removed during maturation into insulin. Okay, earlier insulin, it was extracted from where? From the pancreas of slaughtered cattle and pigs. But some patients began developing allergies for that. So the production of insulin by rDNA technique was achieved by an American company, Eli Lilly, in 1983. It prepared two DNA sequences corresponding to A and B chains of human insulin, and then they were introduced into the plasmid of Escherichia coli for production. The A and B chains produced were separated, extracted and combined by creating disulfide bonds to form the human insulin, and then it was very easily and safely used. Next we come to the gene therapy. What is gene therapy? It is a collection of methods that allows correction of gene defect which is diagnosed in a child or embryo. By insertion of normal genes, the defective mutant allele of the genes are replaced and non-functional gene is compensated. ADA is used. ADA, you know ADA? Adenosine deaminase. ADA is caused due to the deletion of the gene for adenosine deaminase. And in some cases, this is a deficiency disease. In some cases, it can be cured by bone marrow transplantation and enzyme replacement therapy also, but it is not fully curative. Lymphocyte from the patient's blood are grown in a culture and functional ADA cDNA are introduced into these lymphocytes using a retroviral vector. These lymphocytes are transferred into the patient's body, and periodic infusion of such genetically engineered lymphocytes is done because these cells are mortal. For permanent cure, what is done? Gene is isolated from the bone marrow cells producing ADA at early embryonic stage. It can be a possible cure. Okay, and different other diseases like cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, then cancer, Parkinson's, etc. These are also treated by this process of gene therapy. Okay, next we come to the molecular diagnosis. Early detection of a disease is not possible by conventional diagnosis method. Okay, some technique used for early diagnosis are low concentration of the pathogen in the body does not allows its detection. Okay, and this, you remember, early detection of a disease is not possible by conventional diagnosis method. See, these for early diagnosis, some techniques are used. What are these? First is PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Low concentration, I said, low concentration of this pathogen, it does not allow the detection of any disease. The nucleic acid of the pathogen, it can be bacteria or virus, it is amplified by the PCR for its detection. PCR is the polymerase chain reaction, and it is being used for the detection of HIV in suspected AIDS patients and genetic mutations in suspected cancer patients. You can see in the slide the PCR tubes. This is the diagram. Now these users of PCR, I think you have understood. Polymerase chain reaction used in the molecular diagnosis. Recombinant DNA technology. This is another technique used for early diagnosis. Recombinant DNA technology, what happens here? A single-stranded DNA or a single-stranded RNA is tagged with radioactive molecule called probe, PROBE, probe. In this method, a probe is allowed to hybridize to its complementary DNA in the clone of the cells. The cells are then detected by the process of autoradiography. Okay, and the cells with mutated gene will not be observed on the photographic film. Why? Because the probe is not complementary to the mutated gene. So molecular diagnosis, these two, first is polymerase chain reaction, second recombinant DNA technology, third is ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. ELISA technique, what is it based on? It is based on the principle of antigen antibody interaction. Either the presence of the antigen means protein, glycoprotein, etc. These are detected, or the antibodies produced against the pathogen are detected. Okay. Next is the stem cell technology. Stem cells. What are these? These are undifferentiated biological cells. These can differentiate into specialized cells and they can divide to produce more stem cells. Stem cells, where these are found? In multicellular organisms. Adult stem cells are used in medical therapies, for example, in bone marrow transplantation. And stem cells can also be taken from umbilical cord blood just after the birth. Understood? Now we come to the transgenic animals. What are transgenic animals? Animals whose DNA is manipulated to possess and express an extra gene are known as transgenic animals. Transgenic rabbit, transgenic rat, pig, sheep, cows, these have been produced. Now, what are the common reasons for developing transgenic animals? First, to study the regulation of genes on normal physiology and development. Second, study of any disease. Third, biological products. Fourth, vaccine safety. Fifth, chemical safety testing. Okay, so we will know in details about these 5 benefits of transgenic animals. First, study of normal physiology and development. Useful to study gene regulation, their effect on the normal functions of the body and its development. For example, the study of the complex growth factor like insulin like growth factor. This can be studied. So it gives information about the biological role of the factor within the body of that organism. Clear? Next, study of disease. Study of the genes which are responsible for causing the disease in human and their treatment. To know it, transgenic models have been developed for many human diseases like cancer, cystic fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, etc. So, by knowing the cause of the gene which is responsible for the disease, the cure of that disease can be done. Next is biological products. Useful biological products can be produced by introducing into transgenic animals the portion of DNA or gene which codes for a particular product. For example, if you think about the human protein, alpha 1 antitrypsin, it is used to treat emphysema. In 1997, what happened? The first transgenic cow, Rosie, produced human protein enriched milk, 2.4 gram per liter. That milk contained the human alpha lactalbumin and was more nutritionally balanced for human babies than natural cow milk. Okay, so Rosie was the first transgenic cow. Human alpha lactalbumin was present and the milk produced was very nutritionally balanced. Next, vaccine safety. Very well acquainted with this term vaccine in 2020. Transgenic mice are developed to test the safety of the vaccine before being used on the humans. When a vaccine is invented, so it's not that it will be directly experimentation will be done on the human. Okay, so transgenic mice are developed. So in them, this vaccine is used or rather tested like polio vaccine. Next is chemical safety testing. Transgenic animals are made to carry the genes which make them more sensitive to the toxic substances than non-transgenic animals. And on exposing to the toxic substances, their effect are studied in very less time. So these are the 5 points we have learned: study of normal physiology and development, study of disease, biological products, vaccine safety, chemical safety testing. Next we come to the ethical issues. Genetic modification is done very good, but genetic modification of organisms, they show unpredictable results when such organisms are introduced into the ecosystem. This should be remembered. The modification and use of these living organisms for public services as food and medicine sources, for example, it creates problem with patent which is granted. The government of India, it formed the organization like GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, to decide the validity and safety of genetically modified organisms for public safety. The angered public is questioning that certain companies granted patent for products and technologies which are grown, identified and used by the farmers and indigenous people related to a specific region or country. Rice is being used since thousands of years in Asia's agricultural history. And Basmati is an unique example for its aroma and flavor, whose 27 varieties are cultivated in India. In 1997, an American company got patent rights for Basmati rice and was allowed to sell a new variety in US and abroad. This new variety of Basmati was originally derived from the Indian farmer's variety. This Indian basmati was crossed with semi-dwarf varieties and claimed as an invention or a novelty. Besides basmati rice, now attempts are also made in the progress of turmeric and neem. Our rich legacy will be reduced by other countries or individuals if we do not pay attention or counter these patent applications. Okay, so biopiracy is another term. Biopiracy is defined as the use of bioresources by multinational companies and other organizations without proper authorization from the countries and concerned people without compensatory payment. Generally, what happens? Financially, the rich nations are poor in biodiversity and traditional knowledge, while the developing and underdeveloped countries are very rich in biodiversity and traditional knowledge related to bioresources. The traditional knowledge related to the bioresources can be exploited to develop the modern application and are used to save time, effort, and expenditure during their commercialization. To check these problems, Indian Parliament has recently cleared and second amendment of the Indian Patents Bill that takes such issues into consideration. What is patent? A patent is a set of exclusive rights granted by a state or national government to an inventor or their assignee for a limited period of time in exchange for a public disclosure of an invention. The patents satisfy three criteria. First, novelty, second, non-obviousness, and third is utility. I hope you have well understood the chapter till this much today. This is all about the lesson. Thank you.